Right, well, before we dash outside and see what the power of the beam is like on the SkyRay King, I thought I'd just show it to you inside in with some light to begin with, so you get a feel for what it looks like both outside and in. It takes four 18650s. In here are the my own cells, the Radonite 3400s, which are chemically equivalent to the NCR 650Bs. And as you can see, this is the contact area in the head of the torch, and it is a parallel connection. So here's the cathode and here's the anode connection. So you've got four cells, each capable of C6, which is about 7 amps, giving you 4.2 or 3.67 nominal volts. 7 amps from each cell is 4 7 is 28 amps, and with 9 of those you're approximately 3 amps per cell, 3 amps per LED, which is the maximum these can be driven at. But as I understand it, the driver does limit the current through the cell, through the LEDs, to 2 amps. And to give you some idea of the comparative strength of the beams, what I'm going to do is, this is the flashlight I've been using for a long time, a single cell 18650, and it's a perfectly adequate cell, but when you see it in comparison to these other ones, you'll see why I'm so enamoured by it. And in these I've got NCR 18650Bs. Now you notice on there I've got a neodymium magnet. Occasionally these flat top connections, as you saw on that, just aren't good enough to connect with the flat top on the cell. Sometimes the PVC wrapping on the cell prevents a good connection. So it's not particularly safe, but it does work, these neodymium magnets. That's why I recommend using button top cells on these. It'll ensure a very good connection. As you'll see on this next flashlight, another SkyRay, but a 7 LED SkyRay. This is the 7T6. I'm using, I think, NCR 18650Bs in here. Well, I'm using a mixture. Those are Radonite and 18650. I've had to put neodymium magnets on a couple of them to get a good contact. Now these slot into their individual holders, they don't come out. It's quite useful. And to get a connection across here, when you've got, you know, perhaps a recessed flat top, as you can see there, it's almost recessed with the wrapping, the PVC wrapping on. So that's why a lot of the people who manufacture these cells with this flat top, there's nothing sitting proud here to make a connection. So a button top, or indeed a magnet on the top, will do the trick. So those are the three flashlights we're going to be using: the SkyRay 7T6, the SkyRay 9T6, and this single 18650 single LED flashlight. So let's go outside and get some comparative measurements. Right, we're outside now. It's not ideal conditions. You can probably see some light being thrown from behind me by a 3/4 waxing moon. Best to do this on a new moon, but unfortunately time's just not working in my favour at the moment. So here's the small single cell, single LED flashlight, and you may just be able to see an image on the right hand side, which is an outside loo. It's not showing up too well on the monitor here, but that's to give you some idea. This is a great little flashlight, by the way, and it's lighting up everything within 10 meters. This is the 7 LED T6 from SkyRay, and immediately you can see quite a big difference. The width of the beam isn't that wide, but I can shine it towards the back of the garden, and it may just illuminate some trees further beyond that you might be able to see. It depends on the sensor here. They're showing up quite well to my eyes, and that's about 50 meters away. Let me switch now to the 9-cell SkyRay King, and again 50 meters away from the back of the garden, and you should be able to see the rear of the garden illuminated. To give you some idea of the functionality of the switches on these things, one press sets you into high beam, a second press sets you into low beam, and the third press turns you off. If you're on high beam and you hold the button down, you get a strobe effect. and one more press turns off the strobe effect. Press it again to low beam, and again the strobe is activated by long pressing, and then off again, and you're fine. There is a light on the soft switch, and it turns to red as the battery capacity drops to 20%. Right, let's get a fix on the laser to see how far away that back fence is. I think it's about 15 meters, but let's check. There we go. I think you can see the laser there. Let's take a look and see how far away this is. 51.739. I don't know if you can see that. I knew it was about 50 meters, so we're at 51.7 meters away from the back fence. That gives you an idea how far the throw from both flashlights are. Anyway, I hope you found this useful in making your choice. There's no doubt about it, this SkyRay King turns 19 today. I'm absolutely delighted with it. If you found it useful, give us a thumbs up, and if there's something you didn't like about the test, let me know in the comments. Cheers!